Everybody, it's February 1917 on the Eastern Front. As you can see, things have changed a little bit. The Germans are falling back. They decided to forego and pull back to the river here and see if they can pull out a good defensive line there. Move some reinforcements along the line there, just to see if they can hold the line against what's coming at them over here. And at the moment, that's the best they can do. I'm not sure. They may end up shortening their line even more, but that's the best defensive position they have, unless they fall all the way back here towards Berlin, and I don't think that's territory they want to give up, because they got some cities in there they do not want to lose. They have 4 cities here, so that's not a good deal. Now over here, the Austrians are in a major pickle. The only place they have, they can build troops, but they threw some here, from their couple cities they have, and moved them there. That's all they could build for reinforcements. Italians rebuilt some troops and moved them to the front and facing off against the Greeks at the moment. So it's kind of a moot point at this moment. We're not sure exactly what's going to happen. The Germans decided to, well, since they already conquered France, they are falling back. They just pulled their remaining troops out of France completely, abandoned it. They left 3 cities open, so next turn they're going to lose some reinforcement points due to that. But they moved them up here to the line, reinforcing the German border again back to the frontier. Because at the moment, they probably could go on the offensive if they didn't have all the problems that's happening way over there. They could probably go on the offensive and take on the Americans at the moment, but they don't have the troops, so they are spending all their time trying to build up the frontier again just to protect Germany. It's probably a lost cause, but we're just going to see what happens in 1917. So that is everything for the Central Powers turn. Not a very good looking situation at all because of Austria and Ottoman Empire, then the Bulgarians, and then the Austrian Hungarians. It's just been a major anchor around the Germans' neck, dragging them down. If it wasn't for having to worry about what's going down here, they probably, since summer rolled around, they probably could have done something about what's happening when they were way over there. So it's a interesting deal. All right, we'll be back. Everybody, it is February 1917, Eastern Front, and it's the Allies' turn. The Russians are on the advance. They're moving on a line here, moving as fast as they can, trying to catch the Germans before they can get too far and dug in. Where they did catch them, though, was right here at the end where they were already in contact. There was a Russian army group right there. It was attacked on 3 fronts by Russians and obliterated. So that's the only problem the Germans have right now, is their lines are not that thick. They do have troops in a line, but they have to stretch themselves out enough to be able to fill the gaps. And right now, that's part of the problem. And over here, this is a mess. All right, so that's where one combat zone has happened. And as you can see right here, the British are trying to sneak around this group right here, trying to get over to this fort. But Imperial troops have entered the base. Yes. We have British Cav is right here, running down this line right here, but they assisted in the assault that attacked this German army group that was right here and demoralized it and kicked it back to here. So The first minor city of the German Empire has fallen for the first time in almost 3 years of combat. Is it Gleiwitz or something like that? Gleiwitz, I think, right there. The British have taken the town. So that is the very first town of the Germans that has fallen. Yes, indeed. But, interesting thing over here, the British are attacking the Italians over here. There was an Italian corps right here trying to protect the flank of Vienna, and it was taken out. But there was some casualties. There was 2 British corps that were lost in the battle and taking out the Italians. But they have secured the flank that is right there. Over here, the other flank, the other 2 army groups attacked over here and took out the remaining Austrians on that flank. So now Vienna is surrounded on 4 sides. 2 army groups are on the other side of the river, so the only thing that's protecting them is just them being dug in the city. And nothing happened over here because the Greeks don't feel like attacking anybody. And the Italians are probably going, oh, well, we don't really have a beef with you either. But the British do. So that's the full extent of that. And it's looking pretty weak over here. I'd say unless the Austrians or the Germans do something to attack Vienna, I don't know how, attack out and push them back. I don't know what they can do. Other than maybe move some troops over here to try to put some pressure on and take out some British. That's about the best they can do at the moment, I think. Now over here, the Americans are on the European tour after kicking the Germans out of France. They have taken some cities, or actually marching towards some cities, advancing their lines, retaking some territory. Haven't attacked anybody. They moved over here along the riverfront district and looking across at the Germans across the way. So that is pretty much all they've done, is shoring up their defenses, and that's it. But next turn, they will probably be able to move some more troops over, because right now the British have been using all the supply lines. Now that they are in supply, but they haven't been able to advance any troops into the territory, because it's a massive buildup of Americans. But the Brits have been using the naval to move what troops they've been losing to send them back into the mix down here. So that is it for the Allies' turn. The only important thing to find out is weather. Whether or not we're going to have some bad weather. Alright, grab a die here. Roll it. Roll a 4. And to March. Mud. Everything is mud. So, alright, so that tells it advance, got to lose 1 movement point, and supply lines can only advance by 2. Well, that's not a big issue for the Americans or the British or the Germans, because they have some pretty fast moving troops. But the Russians, well, that really slows them down, obviously. Now they can't advance very fast, because most of them are only have a 3 movement, and you lose the movement. You can only advance 2, and you can't advance into a zone of control unless you have more than 2 or more. So that can be a problem. All right, that's it. We'll be back.